All right, welcome back. So it's a Sunday, another gloomy day in South Georgia. But we gotta come up here and do a little work to the Mustang. I got a fuel cell for it from my buddy David, 10 gallon. I'm gonna throw in the back into that boat gas tank that I've been using. Got the tires pumping up now because they like to leak down, but the wheels were in rough shape and I expected it, you know, so just keep doing that. I'll take them back off and get them resealed eventually. I'm gonna pressure wash the engine. It's kind of ugly and covered with spider webs. If you look right there on the trash can, there is the fuel cell. I attempted to put some running boards on the old tow rig this morning off a 2020 Silverado. They just won't fit. So now I gotta buy some. I just need some for the kids, you know. The little ones have a hard time getting up in it. It's not very tall. So I get some running boards for now. Eventually I'd like to do a 4.6 drop to the truck because I do like it. I think it looks really good. My wife actually found this for me and I traded my Corvette for it. I don't really have any footage other than pictures of the C5, but it was a lot of fun. Got that from a good friend. And it was fun while it lasted. And I needed a truck and well, now I got two. I only need one, but we'll hold on to my dad's truck because it's, you know, it means a lot. But you know, I didn't want to put it through the burnout contest like I said in a few videos ago again. So we got this from another good buddy. That's his truck. Getting a 6.0 swapping it this week. I just pushed it out so I could use the rack the other day. But yeah, stay tuned. We'll get it cleaned up, get the fuel cell mounted, and you know, we'll see if we can make it run a little bit better. All right, crunk it up, moved it over here. Notice a little small fuel leak on going into the filter here. May not have this clamp tight enough. We're gonna get that taken care of real quick. All right, and I gotta run down to the parts store, grab some spark plugs for this thing, get some brakes for my mother's Cadillac that's on the way. So I'm gonna spray it down with this old engine degreaser. Try to kill some of these spider webs on this thing and make it look a little bit better. So we're gonna let this sit while we are gone, which is just right down the road. It's not that far. Get the whole engine bay while we're here. Just try to make it look a bit better. Right now it does not look that great. As long as we steer clear, I'm gonna wrap the distributor in a plastic bag, and the same thing with the carburetor. Nice twigs and sticks and stuff from like sitting in that junkyard for so long. Okay, get some of the janky wiring cleaned up on this thing because it's got a bunch of it. But it was a 4-cylinder 5-speed car. I don't know if these come fuel injected or not, but it definitely didn't have that anymore. Got another motor we're gonna throw in here eventually. I think it's a built 302, maybe a 351. I'm not sure. We gotta look at it whenever we get our hands on it. That comes donated from someone. Look here, tighten the alternator belt up too. Really loose. That's all right. So that's all that stuff. And that's why we call it the Rustang. You know, the hood's pretty rusty. And so is the trunk pan. I'll show you that eventually whenever I get the boat gas tank out of it. All right, let's head to the parts store. We're gonna pull the spark plug real quick, and we're gonna head to a parts store, get a new set of plugs. I think the wires are okay, and then we are going to pressure wash it when we get back. All right, quick trip down the road. I realized didn't even have the spark plugs. They said they couldn't get them. They had to do a special order on them. So we called a few more places, and AutoZone actually had them. We got a Motorcraft plug, factory stuff, I suppose. So this big, which is kind of weird. I haven't seen these in a long time. They're the bigger plugs. And I'm shaking you around. Hold on a second. Like the 13/16 plugs, pretty big, but these look good. We'll check the gap on them and everything. Really need to clean this toolbox off. We got the Zaccatos, Cup, and Comet. That's for good traction on these wet shop floors. So yeah, let's get the pressure washer broke out. We're gonna open this door back up. We're about to clean the Mustang, get the motor all sprayed off, and then we will get spark plugs in it. Try to play with the carburetor a little bit, and then we'll get this thing done. That's just a vent hose I got run down to the side. I'm gonna run it like that in the car. We got our fitting on it for this end. And I'm hoping I can put this in the factory spot. At least extend those the brackets a little bit. I can still get a stock tank, and that might be the plan. But for right now, we're going to use that so it doesn't look so bad. The factory tank's like $120, and it's not anything, you know, I want to spend right now. Not when we got one of those. Of course, that's not ours. We got to give it back. That door opened good just because you guys are watching. So there she is. Let's get her pressure washed and see how much better it looks. All right, get this thing on. Hose is hooked up. This thing zip tied wide open because we're cleaning the boat with it. And the hose was untwisted. Huh, here we go. Oh, leave it under there. Probably a good idea so I don't get caught up. Turn it on. Woo! Bunch of years of run and crap. I'm gonna put this down so it don't get wet, but we'll see how it looks when we're done. Well, that's really about as good as she's gonna get. I hate these taillights. I'm gonna go with a late model style taillight on it. Maybe fix this dent. I need some trim panels and a top like nobody's business. I think I'm gonna try to take the top off the parts convertible I have at the house for Nolan's car and try to make it work on this. I mean, it's not supposed to be perfect. This is the Rustang, but to make it release waterproof would be great. Engine cleaned up pretty good. The bay cleaned up nice considering, you know, how it did look. It's still rusty and ugly, but you know, now we can see the motor and change the spark plugs real quick, get it up in the shop, and let's get the fuel cell put in it. Alright, spark plugs are done. Look at the hole in that roof. I did vacuum it. It's not perfect, but it looks a whole lot better than it did. That was the other day. She's still cold natured. There's no choke hooked up, so let's see if she's running better. There is an exhaust leak on this driver's side. It's gonna sound kind of loud, but you know, you'll hear it. play with the timing a little bit and get the exhaust leak fixed. Got to tighten the alternator belt up and it should be a whole lot better, but let's get this fuel cell in there real quick and go from there. This is currently what I have in there. Extra cluster, some interior panels and stuff to tank off my old boat. And yeah, I know that's kind of ghetto, but we were just trying to get it to run and see how it's going to do. Does anyone know if this is the 4-cylinder cluster or the V8 cluster? Because I'm not sure. It's a little different than what's in there. And it's got a red line that shows. The other one does not. Also, I got that. I have a wood grain surround. I have the two. It's like, I don't know, grid style that are on there. I got 2 of these, which I kind of like the way this looks. And then we got the one that's wood grain. I think is the 4-cylinder one. I don't know if anyone knows in the comments below. Let me know. I'm not sure. Not a huge Mustang guy. I do like Fox bodies. Always wanted a coupe, but with an LS in it. So, but now we got a convertible with a small block Ford. So, oh, here's the Rustang. Look at it. Ooh, ugly. It had a wing on it. I found a Saline spoiler, local in Albany. Oh, it's just draining water all into the back of it. That's okay. It's got holes in it. So, yeah, a Saline spoiler and a new model style front end. I'm gonna change it up. Not a huge fan of the 4i. I'm gonna leave that open. All right, let's get this sail put in there. All right, initial idea was to mount that in the factory strap location. Won't work, the straps aren't near long enough. So I'm gonna set it up back here like I did the little red tank. Just wanna show you guys why we call it the Rustang. I don't know if we'll ever fix that or not. Just call it weight reduction. It's pretty flexy. But this is what's gonna hold up the fuel cell for the time being. And I'll make some straps to hold it down in here. And this may not be the best thing to do, but it's what we're gonna do. Because it's just a purpose car, you know, drive the shit out of it and have a little bit of fun. I gotta vacuum all this crap off too. Just run a little vacuum cleaner on it. But yeah, just small update. Let's get it in there. Well, after a little bit of clearance, I think I got it in there. It's a little crooked, but it works well. So we're gonna hook the fuel line up and add some fuel to it, run the vent down and out, and fuel cell's in. All right, well, fuel line's hooked up right here. Got it running kind of like that. You see all the rust and stuff that's underneath here, but it helped for fitting that sail in this thing. Again, thanks David. I'll get this back to you ASAP. Yeah, now we're gonna tighten up the alternator belt and let it run for a little bit. Well, all the rust that fell out of it. Love that Milwaukee saw. One of the best purchases this year. All right, so I don't know what it's gonna take for this alternator belt. Shouldn't be too hard to tighten up. Oh yeah, just a little bolt right there. Probably really too dark for you guys to see. I'm gonna loosen that up, move it over real quick, and we'll let it run. It's getting there. Still wanna make it look a whole lot better before the event, because I don't wanna go on there with it looking completely raggedy. I'm thinking championship white as the paint color, Honda color. You know, what are your ideas? Drop them down in the comments. What color should the Rustang be, or should it stay rusty and just let the patina shine? Also, found this today. Thank goodness. Thought I lost it going down the road, and it was in the back of my Silverado, believe it or not. But now this wheel won't look completely ugly. I mean, it's still pretty ugly, but my boy Dave come in clutch on these tires right here, and they're narrow, so I can burn them down pretty easily. I still gotta fix this thing. Let's see how loose that is. Does not fit well. Someone's raggedy exhaust they put on here, but I want to take this and turn both of them out right here on both sides. That way it'll help blow the smoke and just kind of feather it out. I think it'll look really good. Should sound pretty good too. I'm gonna do straight duals. I'm not going to X pipe it or H pipe it or anything. At least I think that's the plan. We'll see how it sounds. But yeah, let's get this thing tight and let it run. Apart from the exhaust leak, it runs really well. This is still hideous, but we're gonna fix that. Sounds like a cam to me. What you guys think? Spilled a bunch of gas getting it filled up, but that's her. Fuel cell is in. It's on the trim panel. Steering column trim. Back this thing out. Let it run outside. The volts gauge looks good. Kind of moved up a little bit. Probably helps having the dump tank. Need to find the volts meter and see if it's charging. There it is. I imagine it's charging. This fuck this thing up and go down the road quite a few times. Definitely charging, thank goodness. One less thing to worry about. Might be smoking a little bit. I did have some pre-mixed gas I put in it when we first got it out of that boat tank. Should be a surprise. I'm gonna let it burn all this water off the motor. We'll add some air to the tires. Had an air truck. Oh, there it is. Already had it set up. What do you know? Again, thanks Walmart for cleaning this wheel up. Let's put this tire on. I gotta do this every dang time. Drive it or move it, gotta pump 2 tires up. Probably take it back down there and see if they'll pull it back off and reseal. Exhaust leak does not sound good, huh fellas? A little bit of rubber on the wheel well. Wonder what that's from. I'm gonna back this thing out and let it run. A small update on the Mustang. We're getting it all ready for Clearson Cars. I sent an email already saying I wanted to be in the burnout contest again. So maybe we'll hear something back this month. It's still pretty early, but I'll see why they wouldn't let me. So we're gonna let this run, burn off all this water. Hey y'all, thanks for watching. If you will, you know, like, share, subscribe, tell your friends. Just trying to have a little bit of fun and bring you guys along on the journey. But have a great week. Well, tell that to I do like the car. End the video off like I did, guys. All right, that's it. Thanks for watching.